They'll put their money on the line.
They won't, because at Alaskan AC, we believe if we can't satisfy you, we don't deserve your business.
And that's a polar bear promise.
Guaranteed. Every day at AlaskanAC.com.
This season, the Cats will take on the Bruins, the Ducks, the Trojans, the Beavers, the Utes, the Buffs, the Huskies, the Cougs, the Cardinal, the Bears, and the School up north on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really mattered, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
It's the final season of Pac-12 women's basketball. Tune in this Friday at 8 p.m. as Adia Barnes and the Cats go on the road to take on the Oregon State Beavers.
Yes, that's awesome.
Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
It has been a week of upsets in college basketball. Tuesday night, numbers 1 and 2 went down. Wednesday, I believe there were, 5 more upsets or 5 more ranked teams that lost. And then Thursday, add 1 more.
First one, no good. He missed the front end. Santa Clara could win it with a basket. Ball, drives, ball, good! With the foul! Ball didn't make it. Watson, 2 seconds. Watson had nowhere to go with the ball. He threw it away. 13 years of frustration for Santa Clara. And it's all pouring out on a night where their all-time great came back and watched his Broncos pull off a huge win.
A stunning win and the celebration and the party. Welcome to conference play.
Ooh, Santa Clara's all-time great was in the building.
Yeah, they showed.
Wonder who that guy is.
They showed him on the highlight there. Big old smile, big old smile. Arizona Wildcat fans remember who that guy is.
Steve Nash was back in the building to see Herb Sendek's club knock off number 23 Gonzaga for the first time in how long, J-Dub?
I think it was 26 games is what I read. So
26 games Gonzaga had beaten them.
Been a minute. Yeah, something like, I have it written down, 2011, I want to say, but it's been a while. 26 games twice a year for the last 13 years.
And Adama Ball, 17 points. You heard that highlight there. He had the and one to put Santa Clara up in the ball game. Adama just had a big night.
Ball pulls up, scores.
How fluid is that? I mean, that's a pro move right there.
Buffalo can't believe it.
I'm just watching transition. Look at the little hesitation. Get your spot right at the logo. Little floater game action. You get to the logo when you have a good floater game, you can score a lot of points.
7 of 16 was Adama Ball. He had a pair of 3-point shots, 17 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals. Adama Ball, the one-time Arizona Wildcat, continues to flourish with his new team in Santa Clara. He's got them at 12-6, 3-0 in the West Coast Conference. Yeah. And Gonzaga at number 23 off that loss could be headed out of the top 25, a place that they have called home for a number of years.
Yeah, 2016 was the last time that the Zags were not ranked in the weekly AP poll. So that's 142 consecutive polls. We'll see what ends up happening. They were 24th this week, but yeah, it's rough. I did look it up. They have no quad one wins this year. Like normally we know about Coach Few going out and doing that crazy non-conference schedule because their conference might not have a lot of the high net ranked teams that they can get the committee to look their way to give them a high seed. They've always taken care of that in the in the non-conference play, right, DK? Mm-hmm. Well, this year they lost to Purdue, number 2 Purdue. They lost to Washington. They lost at number 5 UConn, and they lost to San Diego State. Those are their only 4 quad 1 games they've played this season. They are 2-1 in quad 2 games. They defeated Syracuse, USC, and lost to Santa Clara. So that, again, Santa Clara is a quad 2 team, not necessarily a bad loss in the Bulldog as far as that's concerned, but no quad 1 wins this year. Very rare for the Zags. And obviously back to Ball, 16 points leading Santa Clara this year, the Broncos. We all knew that he had the ability. There wasn't a question in any Arizona Wildcat fan that Adama Ball could put the ball in the basket. I think there were times where it was the other things, DK, that kept him off the court, and obviously so much experience ahead of him. People may forget he was 17 when he first got on campus here at the U of A. So very young, didn't get much playing time the last 2 years, but great to see him out there in a starring role for Santa Clara, and big win last night.
21 assists on 29 shots for Santa Clara. Gonzaga 2 for 20 from 3, and they got out-rebounded in that game by 13. The latest ranked team to fall in a week that has seen at least now 8 ranked teams lose in the top 25. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's talk to Gabriel. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290, DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, you guys. Happy New Year. So I hope you guys are doing good today. So the topic I want to discuss with you is obviously Kalen DeBoer got hired at Alabama. I don't know how that's going to play out. Usually the SEC fans, typically Alabama, are really they love their Southern football. But I want to focus on Arizona. Should Arizona fans be worried about Washington might be poaching Jetfish, and with the lack of things going on with Jetfish's contract extension, should we be worried about that?
Well, when you ask Gabriel, should we be worried about it? That's a personal question. Am I worried about it? No, because I don't worry about stuff like that. I mean, if Jetfish doesn't want to be here, then he's not going to be here. And that's, I can't live my life worrying about whether or not Jetfish is going to stay here and coach this football team. I'd like to see him do that. I think that he's got a very good situation here to carve out his own legacy, and we've talked about that before. Are there people out there that worry about that? Now, granted, I cover the University of Arizona, but I didn't grow up a University of Arizona fan. So now if you're a diehard fan, someone who's lived there the whole life and who lives and dies on every single thing, then yeah, you might be worried about that.
Yeah, Gabriel, I think you should think about it like this. If you look at where Arizona's going next year, they're likely to be the favorites along with Utah in that conference with a roster put together by Coach Fish. He waited a long time for the right spot to get his head coaching job, which was here in Tucson. If the Washington Huskies are going to go play with Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and all those other schools next year in the Big Ten. So as far as, like DK said, if a person is going to triple their salary and decides to take a job at somewhere else, more power to you guys. I mean, that's a personal choice, whatever happens. But from an outside perspective, looking at what Arizona has coming back next year, a top 20 offense, top 30 defense, and going into a conference that doesn't have a lot of powerful schools there at the top, I just think he's got the perfect scenario to go into that league next year. And it feels like he really wants to set a legacy and a lasting legacy here in Tucson. So I think there's a lot of fear out there amongst the fan base that, their grass is always greener and that somebody will come, because it was so good this year after being so bad for such a long, long time, that obviously those are pretty natural feelings to have. But just, keep your chin up. I think Coach Fish really likes it here in Tucson, and as for now, we know he's here. If that changes, we'll cross that bridge.
Are you worried about it, Gabriel?
So let me add on to it. So I know that Arizona is going to the Big 12. They don't have a Oklahoma. They don't even have a Washington. They don't even have a Texas, Oregon, and USC. And I know they have a lot of talent to Arizona's roster, Fafita, T-Mac, and I just kind of, if I was Jetfish, just stay at Arizona, but there's always the money factor. Like, Washington can give more money compared to Arizona, but like you and your other co-host said, that Arizona can wide open win the Big 12 compared to Washington. Washington is gonna go up against Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Oregon, and so I think if I was Jetfish, I would just stay at Arizona, but Washington has kind of more money than Arizona. That's what I'm kind of worried about.
All right. Well, I would tell you, Gabriel, and thanks for the call, Gabriel. We always love when you check in. I would say, don't worry. Don't let that concern you. Washington may have more money. There's a lot of schools out there that have more money than the University of Arizona, but there's not a lot of better places to live than Tucson. And it's ultimately going to be what Jed Fish wants to do. And if he's chasing, I always say, and granted, I think there's a difference. And I know off the top of my head, I don't know what his annual salary is. I'd have to go look it up. But I would imagine he's making around $3 to $5, maybe $1 million a year. And when you say more money, is Washington going to pay Jed Fish $10 million, $15 million? Or are they going to maybe pay him 7 or 8? Is there really that big a difference between $5 million and $8 million when you're making $1 million?
It depends if you're somebody who wants to take care of your family or somebody who wants the biggest yacht in the harbor. It depends on what your mentality
Well, we don't have a harbor here, and they do. So there you go. That might be one draw. They got a harbor there. They got, what's it called? Lake. Oh man,
couldn't tell you.
Lake Washington. I think it is Lake Washington. They have a lake there. We don't. So if Jed Fish is interested in having the biggest yacht, then Lake Washington would be the place to go.
He seems really happy. I mean, from the outside looking in, everything everything we've heard. I think pessimism and sky falling nature is when you've had a lack of success for such a long time, and all of a sudden you find yourself going from a 20-game losing streak to defeating Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl and 7-8 straight wins at the end of the season. DK, clearly that's building upon something. And you think about those Servite kids who came in and just that attitude and all those guys. Every time you hear them open their mouths, it's all for the city, for the university, for the uniform, right? Everything we've heard Glenn and Kelvin talk about for so many years. All signs point to that. And that being said, if someday we wake up and read a headline that Coach Fish decided he wants to go somewhere else, I mean, there hasn't been I haven't heard any moment where he has said, long term, anything other than he wants to try to build something here, the commitment to the city. And we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think the fan base in general expecting the worst case scenario out of success is, I don't look at it like that. I'm celebrating the year that we just had. I'm not looking for the next shoe to drop.
All right, I want to play something. I don't know if you caught it a couple of nights ago, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Ryan Hickey, who hosts Hick at Night on Saturdays here on CBS Sports Radio. He's also the executive producer of the JR Sport Brief show. He had this to say. He did a top 6 teams that he believes are the top 6 to win the national football the college football championship next year. Here's what he had to say.
Ryan Hickey in for JR. To just reiterate, we are doing the top 6 college football national title contenders for 2024. Let's start it off.
Number 6.
The Arizona Wildcats. Arizona is legit going into 2024. Jed Fish has done a tremendous job in his short tenure with Arizona to where now coming off of an incredible season. I think next year they are absolutely a national championship contender. They check every box going to next season. They have one of the best offenses in the country. But unlike the stereotype Pac-12, which I guess now has to be retired now that the Pac-12 is no more, but classic Pac-12 thought is great offense, no defense. Not the Wildcats. Top 20 offense this year, top 30 defense. So they were balanced, did a really good job at scoring points and also preventing points from being scored. That, I think, will continue into 2024. You're going to have Noah Fafita, their tremendous quarterback who stepped in and played really well down the stretch. He's back next year and was super inexperienced coming to this year and still was the 10th most efficient quarterback in college football. He was tremendous. One of his best receivers in McMillan is back next year, 1,400-yard receiver. Now coming back for Arizona, so you have one of the best receivers returning next year now for Arizona. This is an offense that averaged almost 35 points per game. I know they weren't talked about a lot and were never on the spotlight in terms of Pac-12 championship contention or college football playoff contention. But next year, keep an eye out for Arizona. They're going to be a preseason top 10 team. With the playoff expanding to 12 teams, I expect them to make it. I mean, going to the Big 12 next year, it's, to me, them and Utah. 2 teams to beat in that conference. Arizona is legit. They, to me, right now are number 6 in terms of national title contenders for 2024.
All right, that's Ryan Hickey. That's what he thinks. National sports talk show host at CBS Sports Radio. Hick at Night. You can hear him every Saturday. I believe actually his show starts at midnight here. Midnight to 4 a.m. Saturday mornings. You can hear Hick at Night. That's Ryan Hickey. He believes the Arizona Wildcats are one of the top 6 teams to win a national championship next year in football. Let's talk, coming up, some high school basketball with Steve Botkin, the athletics director and girls basketball coach at Saguaro High School. Talking MLK Basketball Classic next. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Houghton and Speedway. Speedway in Houghton, Broadway east of Swan. Speedway in Columbus, also Campbell and Skyline. Some busy traffic at Ajo and Mission. The southbound I-19 Ajo off-ramp busy in the southbound I-19 frontage road approaching Irvington for backups. Weather-wise, 35 the low, 62 sunny tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and 56 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance is making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Working on my hockey lingo.
You're doing that. You're learning quick.
Do you know what icing is?
I love icing. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, it's the best part of hockey, isn't it?
Don't miss out on all the fun.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
You know, we've guaranteed our tires in every auto repair since 1960.
With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
Pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back. And check out the full page of promotions, discounts, and coupons at jackfurriers.com.
So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
License to 40693.
Guys, I want to share Alaskan AC's 1-year guarantee.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, a 1-year guarantee.
Doesn't everyone have something like that?
Sure, but they keep your money. We give money back.
Oh. Wow. Can we say that?
Yes, like this. When Alaskan AC installs a new system, it's guaranteed for a whole year or your money back. We'll either fix it to make it work, or we'll hand you back all of your money.
This really makes other AC companies seem kinda lame? That's the word.
Another polar bear promise.
A whole year. If your AC system isn't performing like it should on day 363,
we make it right or give you back all of your money right down to the penny.
Call an Alaskan. No, call everyone else first. See if they'll put their money on the line.
They won't, because at Alaskan AC, we believe if we can't satisfy you,
we don't deserve your business. And that's a polar bear promise.
Guaranteed. Every day at AlaskanAC.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Season tickets are available now at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
"Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis."
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, let's talk some high school basketball. It is the MLK Classic happening at McHale Center on Monday. This gentleman's team will not be participating in this year, but he is a man that is very strong behind this event annually. He is Steve Botkin, the head girls basketball coach and athletics director over at Saguaro High School. And Steve, I mean, this is always a fun day of basketball, a celebration of not only the game of basketball, a celebration of educators in our community, and a celebration of Dr. King, all tied in to one. What does it mean for you to kind of be someone that helps to put on this event annually?
Hey, David, thanks. Good morning, and thank you for having me on your show today. Yeah, the MLK event is historically is just been an amazing day. You know what MLK means to everyone, especially our community, and to myself. It brings out, it's a special event, and it brings out the best in everyone. And to see kids perform on that stage at McHale Center, where so many great players and coaches and have been, and to see them get out there with the smiles on their faces and to play on that court and play on that platform is just amazing. And it gives me goosebumps every time I walk in, and to hear Dr. Martin Luther King coming through the loudspeakers, and he has a dream, and it just what a great, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it right now. But what a great event. And what I love to see, starting off with that elementary game, and those kids getting out there and playing all the way up to the 7:30 p.m. game. And we tried, Desire Wheeler and I, and even Herman House, when he was doing it, we try to get teams that kids that wouldn't normally play on a platform like that, so we really try to broaden our horizons and get a lot of schools involved, from Nogales to Buena to Baba Kivri, and it's just a lot of fun, and you get a lot of thanks. And I thank everyone for letting me be a part of the committee and to put this thing on, because it means a ton to me, and means a ton to Tucson Unified School District as well.
What are some of the things you hear from the kids about the experience and getting a chance to walk into McHale Center and have that opportunity?
Well, just the lights when they walk in, and their eyes just brighten up, and you hear things like I saw this player, and male and female basketball players will pop in and out of there. Tommy Lloyd, last year was walking around down by his office and was very, it was great. Just, the kids were talking to him, and it was just, they talk about that and they love that. And being in the locker rooms down there, and they feel like for just a moment, they're a collegiate player, I think, walking down the hallways. And I just stop and I pause and look at all the pictures, and, and I see the kids doing the same, and it's just super fun. And, there are a bunch of athletes down there, the swimmers, and, you see some of the, football players walking around. So I think just that part of it's really great, and it's cool because even the security team, they just kind of let the kids walk around and just have fun down there, So that part of it's great. And what I really especially like too is you get the pep bands in there, and you get the cheerleaders in there and the dance teams in there. So it is just a great high school, and elementary in the morning, but high school event for sure. So that part of it's really, really cool.
Steve Bakken is joining us. He is the athletics director as well as the girls basketball coach over at Saguaro High School. You mentioned, obviously, this year it's an elementary school game. I think in the past it's been a middle school affair. How did that idea come in to tie in younger kids to this event?
So Dale Lopez, who's been in the district for 40, 50 plus years, who is all about kids and a wonderful man. He gets middle school and elementary school the tournaments going, and I guess he brought the idea to Herman House a few years ago, and it just kept rolling with Desire, and he said let's get the kids in here as well. And so Dale was definitely a force behind that, and is a big part of the committee as well.
We're looking at, obviously, a huge schedule of games. Again, it starts at 8 a.m. with the elementary school game, and then the high schoolers start from 9 going till 7:30. How difficult is it to put on a tournament like this, Steve?
Well, the tough part is adhering to the schedules. It's just because you have overtime games and you have fouls, and every game is not going to last an hour and 15 or an hour and 20, right? So I always get calls, from ADs around, especially around the 6 and 7:30 games. Hey, are we on time? Should we come yet? Those kinds of things. It's tough. I mean, in terms of getting the schools involved, I'll just start emailing. Actually, let me go backwards a little bit. Some of the ADs and coaches will start emailing us, probably late January of this year, and say, hey, can we get in next year? So I just keep a folder, and then we Desire and I sit down and we sort through it, and we try to mix it up and not have the same girls team play 2 years in a row, or same boys, and we try to get those schools that really want in. We try to get them involved somehow, some way. But it's not hard in terms of asking, because most ADs and coaches jump on the opportunity. The difficult part is some team has to give up a home game, because it has to be a game scheduled on the AIA calendar. So I can't just pit 2 really good schools against each other and go play. It has to be already scheduled, and then those 2 teams, one of them will have to give up a home game. So that part of it is about the only difficult part. But David Watton, the commissioner of officials, is great also, because a lot of those folks, a lot of the gracious referees donate their time. They get paid to do it, but they give it back to the MLK Scholarship Committee, or give it back to TUSD. So it's all around great thing. And like I said, most ADs and coaches jump on the opportunity to play at McHale.
Steve Bakken is joining us. He is the athletics director over at Saguaro High School, also the girls basketball coach. Steve, I want to dive into something we're seeing in girls basketball, and I've kind of noticed it over the last couple of years, and we've been we started something in kind of with the winter sports here at 1290 to kind of try to highlight kids in the winter sports, and we're calling it our Prep Princes and Prep Princesses. And one of the things that I'm noticing, and just looking at kind of a little bit closer maybe than I have in the past at girls basketball and some of the scoring, is we're seeing a lot of disparity in games. I mean, I think Tuesday night I saw at least 7 games where the point differential was plus 40 in a lot of these games. And a lot of single-digit games where teams are not even getting to 10 points. Why do you think we're seeing that, especially on the girls' basketball side? I've noticed it a little bit more so than on the boys' side.
So I think it's possibly twofold. Going back, I've been a head coach for about 28 years now. Started at Rincon for a few years, and now at Saguaro for the last 22. And I think COVID hit everyone pretty hard. And I know a lot of people use COVID as an excuse, but it's a real thing. And what happened was, I know in our program specifically, we were always 12 girls deep, 3 levels. And we took a hit, and I think a lot of schools did, where we ended up with 2 levels for about 3 years, and this is the second year, but first real year where we've had 40 kids in 3 levels. And I just think that basketball, especially with girls, they, a lot of the girls just didn't come out during those couple COVID years, and so I think that was part of it, where some of the stronger teams stayed strong, but some of the teams that were really building, they just didn't get the turnout. So it was hard to really build something at the lower levels, because you need that foundation, and those freshmen didn't start coming out. This year we were fortunate at Saguaro to get 20 freshmen out for girls basketball, which was just wonderful. So that'll bode well for the future. And the other thing is the shot clock, I think, has made a big difference. So in the past, certainly we never tried to run up the score ever, and we'll take off the press and we'll run a zone, and and never want to embarrass another team or players. And so we would call for 10, 12, 14 passes, run your offense before you shoot, no threes, no layups, those sorts of things. And now with the shot clock, if you don't shoot in 35 seconds, it's a turnover, And so I think part of that is, you got to get the ball up in 35 seconds. And sometimes, schools don't take advantage of that and wait for 30 to shoot it. They shoot it early. But, in a couple games that we had last year, we had the same question asked to us. And I said, we get to 30 on the shot clock or 32, the girls are going to shoot it, or else it's a turnover every time. So I think that's part of it. And, I'm still trying to figure all of that out. But I think part of it is just girls basketball in general during the COVID time, especially here in Tucson. I think we just didn't have as many girls come out, but I think you'll see it start to get stronger again here in the near future, or at least I hope so.
Interesting. I had not heard that the numbers had kind of fallen off like that during the COVID.
Our freshman team last year, we had to build a schedule. Even though we had a freshman team, we only had 7 out of the 18 games scheduled, because the other 11 teams that we were playing did not have a freshman level team. So we just had to call around, and we ended up playing South Point like 3 times, and a couple other schools that had them, just because we would have lost a game. So I think that's kind of the interesting part of it. I think having that freshman level and the strong freshman level, and I think a lot of the schools are getting that back again. I think you'll see it get better and better here in the next few years.
Steve Botkin from Saguaro High School is our guest. Steve, just to kind of swing it back to the MLK Classic, the other thing, and we mentioned at the top that's very special about this event, is that you guys honor educators at every single school. Walk people through that process. How those educators that are going to be honored are selected, and what you try to do for them on game day.
So it's really great. We tell each school who's participating in the MLK event to put together a bio for an honoree, and it can be an educator, and most of the time it is an educator or someone that works in the educational realm. It can also be a community member who has really come in and done some great things for the school. And basically it's an individual who has worked to unify the diversity of the school, like I said, the community, the city, and things like that. And we present them a plaque at halftime of each game. And we bring them out and their family. A lot of times we'll come out with them and stand at midcourt at McHale, and we honor them. And in the program that Bill Ackerley puts together with Ackerley Advertising, they put together a wonderful program, and it has the bio and all the information of the honoree in that program, which is certainly a great keepsake. So a lot of great feedback on that. Families they're very honored to go down on the floor with the honoree, and then I'm always real honored to stand next to that honoree, because I know that person that's being honored has done something great for the community or the school.
And Steve, let's hit your team real quick. 15-6 on the season. You went to a pretty tough tournament, and I'm sure got learned some lessons there. What do you take away from taking your kids to an event like that, where you're facing teams like Long Beach Poly and some of those bigger schools in Southern California?
Yeah, so it's actually wonderful. It's tough because you learn a lot about yourself, about the toughness of your squad, for sure. We were actually going to be in basically there's about 12 brackets, and it's like basically your top bracket all the way down to the 12th bracket, which is even strong, that 12th bracket. But we were going to be in the 3rd bracket, and the director of the tournament called and said, "Hey, I'm going to move you up a bracket because we had a team that had 5 transfers up here in LA, and they couldn't play their transfers, so we're moving you up." And I said, "Well, that's okay, but understand that it's I know the competition level is going to be really tough. He said, you'll be fine. And I ran into him in the second game, and he says, please don't strangle me. And I said, it's okay. I mean, it's really good for us. But, playing against Long Beach Poly, they had probably 3 Division I kids at starting, and, schools about 4,500, 5,000 students. And then we go up against Oak Ridge, which is, I think, number 8 in all of California, and they have a guard who's being recruited by a bunch of Pac-12 schools. And then we played another team who had a girl that signed to play for Stanford, who is 6'1" point guard. So, it's phenomenal. And, taken away, you hate to go up there and lose, but, I think we all learned a lot from it. We learned what our deficiencies are, what we are strong at, and how we can get better. And, those kind of games, they're so beneficial, I think, later on in the season, because, you've got your flowing well. Our division is especially tough. I think 4A top to bottom is really pretty strong, but we've got in our division alone, with Sal Point, Flowing Wells, Pueblo, and then CDO is a new coach over there who's really got that team playing hard, and they play well, and so it's good for us, because we're going to see that all the way through from here on out for the rest of the season.
And what's special about your top player, Cassandra Coolidge?
She's a really good shooter. She's a great leader, and just pretty much stays calm all the time and doesn't get up, doesn't get down, just does her thing. But what I really like about her is, she can handle the ball, and she can go down, and she's one of our biggest kids. So she's 6 foot, so she goes down and plays post defense when we need to, and she can rebound, and she's just an all around good player, and we can play her all 5 positions. Usually play her at the 2 or the 3, but we can play her at all 5 if we need to. So just a well-rounded young lady, and super proud of her for scoring 1,000 points. And she got to play with Alyssa Brown 3 years ago, so she's been a player for the varsity since her freshman year. So just a great kid and well-rounded, great student, and looking forward to see what the future holds. She does have a few offers that she's entertaining, from JC to some Division II and III, so I'm excited to see where she ends up.
Steve, hey, we always appreciate chatting with you. It's the 2024 Martin Luther King Jr. Basketball Classic on Monday at McHale Center. Always an outstanding day of high school as well as an elementary school game. Steve, we'll see you out there on Monday. Best of luck the rest of the season.
David, thank you so much for having me on your show. I appreciate it.
Steve Botkin over at Saguaro High School. Let's get a break in here, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With a new collision reported Prince and Romero and Prince Road. Also in the clearing stages, Broadway east of Swan, Houghton and Speedway, a bicyclist struck, crash Speedway and Tankaverde Loop Road. Columbus and Speedway, also Campbell and Skyline. Police activity on 6th Avenue south of Valencia. Please avoid the area. And weather-wise, 35 the overnight low, 62 sunny tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance is making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Well, it's the first part of a new year, and some people are coming up with some pretty interesting New Year's resolutions.
I'm taking karate classes.
Hey, wait just a minute.
Let's get something really stupid tattooed on our butt.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why not make your New Year's resolution to always save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn? You'll not only save up to 40%, but there's also no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation.
I'm getting married to the first girl I meet.
Hey there, sweetheart. And you can save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Let's try parachuting. Geronimo!
So save up to 40%, save with no city or state sales tax, and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. But maybe skip the skydiving. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
You know, there are times when you want a new truck, and there are times when you need a new truck. So if either of those times are right now, O'Reilly Chevrolet has the time for you. O'Reilly is kicking off Savings and Selection 100 to celebrate 100 years in business. We have over 100 trucks to choose from. See them all at O'Reilly.com. Call 747-8000 or test drive one today on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads during Savings and Selection 100 at O'Reilly Chevrolet. More than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star reviews. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Visit us at goodfellasac.com to schedule a no-cost estimate.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9318. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9318. That's 800-575-9318. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wildcats Radio 1290 has been through all the ups that Wildcats fans experience.
Here comes the posse, and they sack him. Navy shirts everywhere.
They are swarming tonight.
And the downs.
Ball is loose. Bulldogs pick it up. The 4th Arizona turnover of the night.
1290 is always there by your side to bring you all the raw emotion of the moments that matter to Wildcats fans. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys, and we have some of the most experienced criminal defense attorneys available, including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Our thanks to Steve Botkin for joining us. It's the MLK Basketball Classic coming up on Monday at McHale Center. It starts with the elementary school game at 8 o'clock a.m. Give you the list here. Girls and boys both competing. The first game is a girls' game on the high school level, St. David against Baba Kaviri. Then boys, Benson versus Desert Christian. Our guy Tyson Dobbins will be in that game. Our most recent 1290 prep prince for his performance for the Eagles earlier this week in a win over Ray High School. He had 28 points in that game, so he'll be on the floor at 10:30 with Desert Christian taking on Benson. Then it's back to the girls at noon, Choya and Desert View. Boys at 1:30, Catalina at Tanca Verde. Girls at 3 o'clock, Rio Rico at Palo Verde. Boys at 4:30, Cienega against Rincon University. Girls at 6, Tucson against Nogales. And then boys to wrap things up at 7:30. That game generally sometimes doesn't start until around 8:30. Pueblo will take on Saguaro. So a lot of outstanding high school basketball out of McHale Center on MLK Day. It's the MLK Basketball Classic brought to you by Coaches for Charity. Our friend of the show, Ed Ackerley and company over there doing a great job as they always do. Desire Wheeler is the AD for the entire Tucson Unified School District. She is on the board for that game along with Steve Botkin, who we had a chance to talk to earlier this hour. All right, folks, it's the time you have been waiting for. It is time for the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. If you don't know anything about the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, here's how it works. I'm going to pick the game. Can you pick the winner? That is the question. If you do, normally we give away a $25 gift card to the winner. But I won last week, and if I win, the pot goes up. So this week, for the wild card weekend, it is a $50 gift card from Miller Lite to the person. If they can pick the winner of the game I choose, you'll get a $50 gift card from Miller Lite. So here we go. Caller number 1 right now to 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. I'll pick the game. Can you pick the winner? We've got some interesting games on the docket this weekend, the Browns and the Texans. I've got my Browns gear on. If you are watching on one of our many streams, we are on Facebook. We actually are up and running now. Once again, pilot error. We were not up and running in the first hour, but we are up and running now. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on Twitter at Wildcats 1290 on Twitter, at Wildcats Radio 1290 on all of those other platforms. Dolphins at Chiefs, that's the other game on Saturday. We will not carry either of those two games here on Wildcats Radio 1290 due to our commitments to the University of Arizona. The first game on Sunday is the Steelers and the Bills. We will not carry that game either because we've got Arizona women's basketball early on Sunday. We will, however, pick up coverage with the second game on Sunday. We'll join in progress the Packers at the Cowboys. You'll hear that here on Wildcats Radio 1290. And then the evening game, the Rams and the Lions, you'll hear that game in its entirety. Playoff football at Ford Field in Denver. Detroit. Cannot wait for that. And then Monday night, after the Tommy Lloyd show, we will join the Eagles and the Buccaneers in progress. Okay, let's talk to Antonio. Welcome to DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, Antonio, are you an NFL football fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, who's your team?
Steelers.
Steelers?
Yes,
oh
sir.
my gosh! Well, you guys got a huge problem going into Buffalo because apparently there's a lot of snow. There's a lot. In fact, I heard that they're trying to get they're calling for volunteers to shovel snow overnight on Saturday night so that they can make sure that the land is clear by Sunday come kickoff at 11 a.m. our time.
Well, good thing we got a good run game. So
there you go. That's not the game we're picking, though, Antonio, unfortunately. The game we are picking, though, is the game that involves my team, the Cleveland Browns. And I'll just mention this since I have you on the last playoff game the Cleveland Browns won was when they kicked the Pittsburgh Steelers' butt a few years ago.
Wait. But you don't got no rings.
You remember that game? Antonio?
Okay. I know. Yeah. I sure do.
Okay. All right. So here we go. It is the Browns on the road at the Houston Texans. Cleveland is a 1.5 favorite. Who are you choosing in that game, Antonio?
Mr. C.J. Stroud.
Mr. C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, did not play in the game when the Browns won in Houston last month. That. So you're not sold on Joe Flacco.
No, sir.
You're not sold on the Browns' top 5 defense.
That's good D, but I got to go with the rookie.
You're going to go with the rookie in D'Amico Ryans
yes.
In the playoffs. The first coach-rookie quarterback tandem in the playoffs, I believe,
right.
in a long, long time. That's a good one. All right, so
to.
You're taking the Texans. I'll take that'll give me the opportunity to stay with my team, the Browns. If you win, Antonio, you get a $50 gift card from Miller Lite. If you do not win and my Browns advance to the divisional playoffs, the divisional round, then you still win, though. You still will get a prize pack from Miller Lite, and there's a lot of good stuff in there as well. But the next person for divisional weekend will have a chance to win $75. I want you to stay on the line, Antonio, so J-Dub can get your information. We don't have a show on Monday because of the holiday, but we will be back on the air Tuesday. We will call you on Tuesday to rehash what happened on Saturday. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Antonio, good luck to you, but not too much luck. All right, it is the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. I picked the game, the Browns and the Texans. I chose the game involving my team, not the game that's involving his team, which is going to be it. But the Bills are 9.5-point favorites, so I wasn't going to pick that game. I mean, it generally has to be a close line. That's the way we've done this all season long. It's got to be somewhere around 1 or 2 points in terms of the line. The Bills are almost a 10-point favorite in that game, so I'm not here just to give away money. Not happening. So Antonio took the Texans. I've got the Browns. It's the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Make sure you tune in. Generally, we do this. It's different now because we're in basketball. We're in conference play for basketball. All season, we did it on Thursday because there was no basketball on Thursdays. But now we'll likely do it probably the next 2 Fridays because we have 2 weeks to go after this one. We'll do it for the divisional round coming up next week and the championship round coming up after that. We will not obviously do it for the Super Bowl. So you still have 2 more chances to take home some money courtesy of Miller Lite. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. In the last hour of our show, we're going to talk some Arizona men's basketball. Eldridge Rickhassner is going to join us. He is an analyst for the Pac-12 Network. He'll be on the call tomorrow in Pullman for the Wildcats and the Washington State Cougars. He was on the call last night in Seattle as Washington handed Arizona State their first loss in conference play. The Sun Devils had started this thing 4-0. They finally took an L at the hands of the Washington Huskies. So we'll get some of Eldridge's thoughts on that game as well and what went down at Heck Edmondson Pavilion or American Airlines Arena or Alaska Airlines Arena. I'm not sure what they call it up there in Seattle nowadays, but we'll get his thoughts on that as well as the Cougars and the U of A. Don't forget, Arizona women's basketball coming up tonight. 8 o'clock tip-off in Corvallis. The ladies will take on the Beavers. Our coverage begins here on Wildcats Radio 1290 at 7:45. Derek Palmer will have the call. We had a chance to talk with Derek earlier in the show. Also, cricket will rejoin us in the 5 o'clock hour with more of what you need to be doing this weekend here in southern Arizona. A lot happening. As always, cricket will tell you the places to be this weekend. It's DK on the Sports Tip. He's J-Dub. She's Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Police activity on 6th Avenue between Valencia and Los Reales. Please avoid that area. We're seeing backups for westbound Valencia approaching I-19. The southbound I-19 frontage road approaching Irvington for slowing. Also busy. Mission and Ajo as well as southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. Collision reported at Prince and Romero. Romero and Prince. Also collision Speedway and Tanque Verde Loop Road. 35 the low, 62 and sunny. Tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance is making it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Arizona Complete Health means more than health insurance to me. They're my healthcare partner. We get the care we need from doctors we choose, and even earn rewards for healthy things we're already doing. And with Marketplace, Medicaid, and Medicare options, I have coverage to protect my family's health wherever life takes us.
Arizona Complete Health, a plan for life. Visit planforlifeaz.com to find coverage that works for you.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. If you're getting ready for work in Foxborough this morning, then your name is definitely not Bill Belichick. Mr. No Days Off can now take as many days off as he wants. However, his old boss, Bob Kraft, took no days off in naming the successor to Mr. No Days Off. Because fewer than 24 hours after the Hoodman's Patriots departure, there is already an heir to the Mumbler's throne. That successor apparently had been predetermined and contractually sealed a long time ago. Gerard Mayo is the new head coach. He becomes the new youngest head coach in the NFL, and now he has maybe the hardest job in the NFL because he's not just replacing the GOAT, he's replacing the GOAT with no QB, a totally barren roster, and a giant question mark as to who is going to run that front office and how they'll run that front office. Congrats to Gerard Mayo, and good luck to Gerard Mayo.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-Do.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the right Super Start battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
1290 has earned the right to be named after the Arizona Wildcats. That's why we grind harder than anyone else in Tucson to cover the Cats. 1290 is the home of the Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Good news, everybody.
We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, Eugene, what's with the giant pile of scratcher tickets?
Just my next greatest idea ever.
Playing the lottery?
That's right, Doug. With all my winnings, I can enroll in the UberTube car repair classes and finally fix your car right. No more disasters, Doug. Your luck is about to change.
Well, then keep on scratching, Eugene.
Good luck, Eugene. But if you need a sure thing in automotive repair or for your next set of tires, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
You know, we've guaranteed our tires in every auto repair since 1960.
With more than 35 Top Shop awards and our Partners Network 3-year nationwide warranty, you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
And check out this month's special savings.
Pay with your Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care card and get $66 back. And check out the full page of promotions, discounts, and coupons at jackfurriers.com.
So call ahead and make an appointment online or just stop by any of our 14 area locations.
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, here to get you there.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
We have reached the place where the road to a championship opens. Super Bowl 58 is just a few weeks away, and there are Tucsonans battling for that prize.
3rd and 9, Carson Wentz gets hammered by Demetrius Flanagan, fouls of the Niners. Little toss play. Here comes Freeman. Nice job defensively by Demetrius Flanagan, fouls.
Demetrius and his team will not be in action this week. They are the number 1 seed in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers. So they will get the week off, as do the number 1 seeds in the AFC, and that would be the Baltimore Ravens. But Demetrius, a part of that defense on the 49ers, as they'll try to find their way to Las Vegas and the Super Bowl. Other folks we're going to see this weekend, Levi Wallace back in the starting lineup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in fact, I think Levi has started the last 3 games, and the Steelers have won the last 3 games. They'll be going on the road to Buffalo, and I mentioned the weather is just bad all over the eastern seaboard and the eastern part of the country. Right now, it's 21 degrees in Buffalo. It is currently -3 degrees in Kansas City. And my wife had a friend who was supposed to be coming out to Tucson for the weekend. She had to cancel her flight because Chicago is getting hit. She was flying out from Cleveland, and Chicago's getting hit, and it was going to be just a travel nightmare. And so she's not coming. Just bad weather everywhere. There were rumors, bad rumors, but rumors that they might have to move the Bills game out of Buffalo. They have done that before. There was talk they might move the Bills-Steelers game to Cleveland. That rumor was quickly shot down. That's kind of what we're dealing with in terms of the weather this weekend. Obviously, the game in Houston is going to be in a dome, but outdoor football in Kansas City, outdoor football in Buffalo, Cowboys, that's a dome in Dallas. Detroit, it's going to be cold there, but that's a dome there. And then things should be nice in 67 Monday night in Tampa Bay for the Eagles and the Buccaneers.
These players got it too easy, DK. I mean, like the most famous games in NFL history all involve some kind of ice or wind or snow or some kind of mud or craziness.
That's what happens around playoff time, for sure. You get those, that's why they're memorable. Absolutely memorable. So it's going to be fun. Going to be fun to watch the road to the Super Bowl. And again, you'll hear a number of games here on Wildcats Radio 1290 this weekend, and we will have Super Bowl 58 for you. That'll be right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. I believe February the 11th is the date for the Super Bowl this year. You'll hear that right here.
Correct.
On Wildcats Radio 1290. All right. I said early in the show, I wanted to play you some things that were said on the Adia Barnes radio show earlier this week. And it's what's interesting is it's very off the cuff. The show is very off the cuff, which is why it's just such great radio, because you never know where Adia is going to go. You never know what Adia is going to say. And the special guest was Helena Pueyo, the fifth-year senior guard, do everything, Swiss Army knife for Arizona women's basketball. And this first thing we found out is Helena has always been one of the better defensive players on Adia's roster. And we found out she has a thing. You know how we have the turnover sword? Well, Helena has a thing when she gets a turnover for Arizona.
You're gonna find out little secrets on the show or here, only here. So Lena, when she steals, you guys, Isis Montea, when Elena steals the ball, what does she say? Cookies.
Why
But with her
cookies?
accent, she goes cookies. It could be like a serious time in the game or anything, and then show the little thing you do.
Like this.
Yeah, because in sign language, that's
This,
cookies.
yeah, cookies.
So,
you
why
guys-
cookies for steals? Is this
It's a thing.
I don't know.
I don't know, but she says it every time. She goes cookies. It could be like if my daughter always says cookies when she sees her. And then when it's a big steal, it's cookie, or when it's a regular steal, it's cookies. It could be all the time.
It's crumble cookies.
When
Because
it's-
crumble cookies like a big cookie, you know.
So
Like
when it's a big one,
cookies.
it's crumble.
Crumble, yeah.
what
So-
did the opposing team say when you?
Well, it's more
I
like
don't
they
think
wouldn't
they
know
say
she
it.
says
Okay.
it. We always say it. It's at practice, but everybody says it. Like she'll be doing a one-on-one drill with someone else. She'll be like cookies, and people get mad sometimes.
So apparently, I don't know a lot about sign language, so I had to look this up. So apparently, if you put your left hand in the palm of your hand, kind of like just like if you're watching on our any of our video streams, that's the sign for cookies, and that's apparently what. So if you ever see Helena get a steal, and then at some point, I would imagine like she must give up the like. Did she get the ball? She can possibly do that and still be dribbling the basketball after it steals. So maybe it's after she's passed the ball to somebody that she does this sign with her hand, known as cookies in sign language.
If people aren't familiar with the reference, like getting your hand caught in the cookie jar is oftentimes been referred to as a reach-in foul.
Yes.
So if you're reaching to strip the ball from somebody and you get called for the foul, oftentimes for the longest time, that's been referred to as getting your hand caught in the cookie jar.
Mhm.
So when you steal that ball, it means you got those cookies.
Got the
DK.
cookies.
Yep.
I get that. I did not even draw that comparison right there. Nice job, J-Dub. I didn't even connect.
Well, I'm a basketball guy.
I did not even connect that there.
I don't know Helena Pueyo, but I'm assuming because that's such an old reference, hand caught in the cookie jar, it must be something along those lines.
Right. So Helena is from Spain, and she knew very little English when she came over to the United States some 5 years ago. And we also found out that apparently Helena had not really eaten at a high level until she came over to the United States, because after we got the whole thing on the cookies, well, actually, these were, we did these in reverse order. So the cookies part actually during the show came after what you're about to hear here. But we wanted to play that first because this next thing you're about to hear is a whole lot better. But apparently, we found out that Helena took to our American food when she got here to the United States some 5 years ago.
Her freshman year, she had gained that freshman 15. She wasn't going to play 45 minutes then. Do you guys remember that? No, everybody's like, we're not talking about that. You guys don't remember she gained like 15 pounds as a freshman?
I don't.
She was like bigger. She came from Spain. They eat like, you guys don't remember? In Spain, they eat small portions. They eat 5 fries and a small hamburger. In America, we eat 75 fries and a double burger. She wasn't used to that. She was loving America. She gained like 15, 17 pounds her freshman year. She was thick. You guys don't remember that. You were, weren't you? You were 170-some pounds. No, she wasn't fat. She was American healthy, like how American is. It wasn't muscle. It was food.
American healthy.
American healthy. It wasn't muscles, it was food. I thought Derek was gonna die when she said you're 177 pounds.
Well, like your coach, I think your coach that's like your mom calling you out for gaining some weight. Like that's a very understandable thing coming from Adia. I think Derek's probably just sitting there like, oh, I don't want to get involved in any of this. I'm not trying to step on any toes.
That was probably one of the funniest things I've ever heard on a coach's show. Coaches' shows generally are kind of boring, but this is, and they've got an audience there. They're at the Sands Club. They've always had an audience no matter where they were. They had an audience when they were like in the basement at the Student Center back in the day. But then they've been out at, Rincon Market, now Flores Market. They've been in, I believe they were out at, Brother John's. They were over there for a little while. Now they're at the Sands Club, living the large life up there. But a good crowd comes out, and even those folks were we're having a good time with that one. That was pretty funny. The freshman 15 and now of course, J-Dub, like I hear that, and what's the first thing I'm doing? Like I'm digging back through the photo galleries at the U of A. I'm on the U of A athletics site trying to see if I can find these pictures of Helena Pueyo as a freshman with all this. I was like, 'cause I don't remember that, and it was hilarious because like she's like, y'all don't remember that? She said that like 3 times. Y'all don't remember that? And I'm thinking like, I don't remember. I don't ever remember Helena being like a heavy, like even like a little bit. With a little bit more weight than she has now. I don't certainly remember that. But, of course, I had to go looking for pictures to see if I could find any pictures from her freshman year to kind of visualize what that. But I just thought that was hilarious.
As I've said many times, I worked on University Boulevard for a long time, 8-10 years.
Yeah.
And I saw that freshman 15 thing play out many, many, many times. It's common because if you think about 18-year-old getting away from home for the first time, you're planning your own meals or not planning your own meals, DK, is really what happens.
Right.
So if it's a greasy piece of pizza or whatever you can get your hands on, there's so much more freedom in your first year of college. So it's just so common for maybe your eating habits. Maybe you're not eating like odd times of the day, don't digest well, whatever it is. But it's not a negative. It's just a reality of that idea of leaving the nest and having your first time away from your family and doing your own eating and cooking. Well, not so much cooking because that's not really a thing for a lot of 18-year-olds, but whatever cheap food you can get your hands on, that's what you eat.
Illegal Pete's, boy, that'll put some 15 on you real quick. Shout out to our folks over there at Illegal Pete's. All right, we are joined by the third member of our program. She is Cricket, and it is the weekend. Finally.
This was the longest week ever.
What was that we used to say when people said the same thing at the same time? Jinx.
Buy me a beer.
Exactly. There you go.
Buy me a White Claw.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's happening this weekend, Cricket?
So the Tucson Jazz Festival through the 20th of this month. The cost varies for different events, but there is a free festival on Monday. And you can get the details, TucsonJazzFestival.org. You also have an interview, right?
Yes, we're going to be talking to Chris Dodge. He is the guy that puts on the fabulous Tucson Jazz Festival. So that'll be coming up on our show, Tucson in Review. You can listen to that early Sunday morning. Get up early Sunday morning. You can hear it here on our station at 6:30. If you like to listen to any of our FM stations, it comes on anytime between like 5 and 5:30 Sunday morning. And we'll have it on our website, too. So if you don't want to get up early on Sunday, you can also hear it. But he tells us all about the history of the Tucson Jazz Festival. This is the 10th year anniversary, and the theme is Join the Party.
I like that.
Yes.
That sounds fun. So again, TucsonJazzFestival.org for all the details. Also, you might like this, DK. There's a silent disco meets flash mob.
Ooh.
It's called Silent Adventures. It's tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon at the main library, and you can dance through. Oh yeah, no.
I'll be working.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's a basketball game.
Oh, sorry. Well, $25 for adults, $15 for kids. Tomorrow, 3:30 at the main library, and you can dance your way through downtown Tucson. And I'm super excited. The Fort Lowell Soccer Shootout all weekend at Keno Sports Complex. Woo,
wow! I totally forgot about the Fort Lowell Soccer Shootout.
How could you forget about the sports ball?
Exactly right. I covered that thing so many years in TV. It's hilarious. I would be out there right now. If I was in TV, I would probably be out there
like all
right
weekend,
now,
right?
All weekend. Yeah, a lot of spotlight games around the city. It is just a really, really cool event. They bring in teams from all over the West Coast. There's teams from Mexico. The parade of teams is the big thing they have, right? It usually starts around 6:15, and all the kids are dressed up. All the girls have their hair and ribbons and all, and there's costumes and everything. It's just, and then they parade all the teams around it. I think it's still out the baseball stadium, out at Memorial Stadium. It's just a fun chance to see all the kids. And then they have the Soccer Olympics, where they just have all kinds of skill stuff that they do.
That's where I played soccer, youth soccer.
Out at the stadium?
Nope. Fort Lowell Cobras.
Oh, Fort Lowell. Oh,
yeah, Fort Lowell
Cobras. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Early to mid 80s. Yeah. We were really good because our coach was the former youth league coach for Mexico, and his son was on the team. And I just stood back there with my big leg and kicked the ball as far as I could. I didn't really do much, but I remember our team being really good. I think third or fourth in state is what we finished. Was the highest we ever finished.
Nice. All right. Fort Lowell Soccer Shootout. Outstanding.
Keno Sports Complex. Go CDO.
Ooh. Oh, is she playing?
Yeah, she is.
Oh.
She has at least 3 games, maybe more.
Yeah.
Depending on if they win.
You have pool play, and then if you're really good, you get to advance and play a little bit more on Sunday.
Yeah, go Kiki.
Kiki. Yeah. So do we know what's her team again?
Just the CDO soccer club.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and what's her year, or is she under what?
I don't know. She's been playing probably since she was 3.
How old is she though?
And she's going to be 12.
So she's probably 13U then.
I think so.
Okay, so I'll have to look up the schedule, and we'll talk about Kiki and how they did on Tuesday.
Yeah, go number 7.
All right, Kiki, get it done, and we appreciate you. Cricket, have a great weekend.
Thank you, sir.
And get everybody home one more time with us.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions, Prince and Romero, Palo Verde and Irvington, Craycroft south of Sunrise Drive, also Speedway and Tankaverde Loop Road. Some slowdowns at Ajo and Mission as per usual. Also southbound La Cholla at Ajo Way. And mentioning the Fort Lowell Soccer Shootout, there will be a lot of extra traffic, especially around Keno Sports Complex through the weekend. 35 the low overnight, 62 and sunny tomorrow, and 68 on Sunday, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join the growing team at Progressive Insurance. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Now, is that league where they got the keg at second base and you got to chug a beer before you get to third? Is that how that works?
J-Dub, that would have been a better league for me.
Oh, okay.
Don't miss out on all the fun.
License to 40693.
Guys, I want to share Alaskan AC's 1-year guarantee.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, a 1-year guarantee.
Doesn't everyone have something like that?
Sure, but they keep your money. We give money back.
Oh. Wow. Can we say that?
Yes, like this. When Alaskan AC installs a new system, it's guaranteed for a whole year or your money back. We'll either fix it to make it work, or we'll hand you back all of your money.
This really makes other AC companies seem kinda lame? That's the word.
Another polar bear promise.
A whole year. If your AC system isn't performing like it should on day 363,
we make it right or give you back all of your money right down to the penny.
Call an Alaskan. No, call everyone else first. See if they'll put their money on the line.
They won't, because at Alaskan AC, we believe if we can't satisfy you,
we don't deserve your business. And that's a polar bear promise.
Guaranteed. Every day at AlaskanAC.com.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Single game tickets start as low as $17 and are available for purchase now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Tickets are available at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
Tucson, we have something free just for Wildcats fans living in Tucson. You can now catch all the play-by-play action of Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, and no charge on your smart speaker. Ask it to play Wildcats Radio 1290.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Tucson area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Arizona Wildcats headed out onto the road. They'll be taking on the Washington State Cougars tomorrow. Let's talk some basketball now with the man that is going to be calling this game as an analyst for the Pac-12 Network, Eldridge Rickastner, the Washington Husky great, working the Washington State game on Saturday, but saw his Huskies become the first team to knock off ASU in Pac-12 play on Thursday night. Eldridge, what kind of stood out to you about the way that the Huskies were able to handle the Sun Devils over in Seattle?
I think the most impressive thing was they went back to their zone. They went back to Mike Hopkins' zone. I felt like they didn't think they could stay in front of Arizona State perimeter guys. So they went zone, and it paid huge dividends for them. And then another thing, Severe Wheeler came into that game shooting 17% from three, and Bobby Hurley just dared him to make a shot. And, man, he went 5 for 5 from downtown. So I think that plan backfired. That was the two things that stood out the most to me.
I guess the Huskies obviously got off to a tough start, getting swept on the first trip down to the Rocky Mountain schools and losing that first game at home. But they've really needed these kind of last two games to get back on track.
Yeah, I knew going down to Colorado and Utah would be tough, two of the better teams in the conference. And then they didn't have Frank Kepnon, their big man that brings a lot of energy, plays with a lot of passion. He's hurt. They got a kid named Wesley Yates, who's the number 37 player in the country, ranked 37th in the country. He hasn't played yet this year. So not having those two guys was huge. But I thought coming back they would beat Oregon and Oregon State. And when they lost to Oregon, I thought that put them in a must-win situation against Oregon State and pretty much against ASU last night, because they now go out on the road. They got to play UCLA, Cal, and Stanford. And all of a sudden, a lot like Arizona State, Stanford's playing a lot better. So, it's always tough to win on the road in the Pac-12. So Washington really needed that win last night.
Washington State and Arizona on Saturday in Pullman. You'll be on the call of that game as well. What have you seen from Arizona that you like? Obviously, this is a team with a couple of transfers in, and Caleb Love and Keyshawn Johnson that have taken teams to the highest level of college basketball, the national championship games. One of the things we've just kind of been a theme all year for us is it's very rare that you can get two transfers of that caliber into one program in the same season.
Well, if anybody could do it, it's the University of Arizona. I came to the Pac-10 back in 1985, and it was kind of on the heels of UCLA with all their great teams with John Wooden. But since then, I think Arizona's been the best program on the West Coast. You talk about Gonzaga as well, but I'm not surprised. I think Tommy Lloyd, one of the best coaches in all of college basketball. Keyshawn Johnson, Caleb Love, everybody knows who those guys are. Caleb at North Carolina, Keyshawn at San Diego State. But in this era, NIL, man, if you got some money and you're a program that players know going to make the tournaments, they get some visibility. That's what happens. The thing that's most impressive about Arizona to me is they got a dude at every position. I mean, there's nobody that you can lay off. Boswell's a great point guard. Cato Love, great shooting guard. You know, you got Pelle Lawson. I mean, you got Omar. They just loaded at all 5 spots, man. But sometimes teams go to Washington State and it's a letdown. And I think Washington State is playing a lot better than people thought that they would this year. And the unfortunate thing for me is I had a chance to think about it last night as I was thinking about my game, and this might be the last time that Arizona goes to Pullman, and that's the sad part about the conference breaking up.
Yeah, absolutely. We're joined by Eldridge Ricastner, Pac-12 Network announcer, and he'll be on the call of Arizona and Washington State. I want to talk a little bit more about Caleb Love and just his ability to not only shoot the ball from behind the arc and get going from that range, but his ability to take the ball to the basket. How do you scout him, and what kind of stands out to you about his game specifically?
Well, he's just real aggressive. I mean, that's the thing I think that separates him. He seems to be a guy that's always looking for his shot. He has a green light from Coach Lloyd. He's out there playing his game, but it's going to be an interesting matchup. It wouldn't surprise me if Kamani Winsu is guarding him, you know, a guy for Washington State that's really, really versatile and a really good defender with good length at about 6'6", you know. So him and Jalen Wells, I think, will be the guys that will probably be on Caleb. But Washington State is going to have their hands full because, like I said, he's just a guy that's always in attack mode. I remember that game at Duke early in the year. You know, obviously he was used to playing against them. But he's just a kid that's been in big moments with North Carolina, and I think he's going to be a guy, if Arizona's going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament and make the Final Four, he's going to have to be a guy that's going to have to be one of their leaders.
You know, Kylan Boswell is a young kid that went through some struggles, got off to a really hot start, but then kind of went through some struggles in December. What's important for young guards like that are maybe in their first year as a starter, how they handle those situations and can fight through some of that, and especially when you're in a program where all eyes are on you and you start not to play well, now you got the fan base chirping. You know, what's important for those players and how they kind of handle those situations?
I think the confidence of his veteran teammates. You know, that's one thing that I always look for. You know, when guys get the rebound, do they give it up to a young point guard? When they don't give it up to a young point guard, that means that they don't have confidence in him. And what I see is they're giving the ball up to him. He's playing a lot better now. I've seen his name in some mock drafts in the first round, and I was kind of surprised. But I think that's the most important thing. If his teammates have confidence in him, then that's going to give him some confidence, because when you're playing point guard for Arizona, and I'll say this, I think he's an upgrade from Kirk Kriisa, who was there, you know, last year or whatever. I like his game, but when your teammates have confidence in you, that gives you confidence. And for a young player, he's hit some big shots so far this season. I really like his game. It's a learning curve for everybody. You know, you can be the best player in high school. That doesn't mean it's going to translate to the collegiate level. Then you could be great in college. It doesn't mean it's going to transfer to the NBA level. So sometimes it takes a while, and I think he's coming into his own and is going to be a fantastic player for Arizona this year.
Washington State went down on the road and got a big win at Southern California earlier this week. Let's touch on a few of the guys we're going to see in this ball game, and we'll start with the fabulous freshman, and you know that has just really come back from cancer and been unbelievable, and that's Miles Rice. Do you feel like, when you look at him, do you feel like he's still kind of maybe getting his strength back from that cancer battle, and he could even be a better player than what we're seeing right now?
Well, first and foremost, I think he's the most fantastic story in all of college basketball. I don't know if all your listeners are familiar with him, but, you know, battled cancer. I had his game, I think the first and second game of the year. Man, he looked like he hadn't been out 2 years. It didn't even look like he had been out 2 days. I mean, he's been making the most of his opportunity. His game just fell off a little bit production-wise in conference play, because I think he's playing against better competition. But that young man is just a fantastic story, and I think a fantastic player. I've heard some announcers saying he's not a true point guard. He's not this, he's not that. He kind of reminds me of Tony Parker. They used to play for the San Antonio Spurs. He has that type of speed. He has that type of ability to get to the basket. He can also shoot the three. And for Washington State to go down there and beat USC, I mean, with him leading the way, this goes to show you what type of player he is. He's a fantastic young guard in the Pac-12 that's going to be a problem for a lot of teams.
And what stands out to you about Isaac Jones, their big man?
Oh, he's just a monster, man. What a steal. He was over there at the University of Idaho, 8 miles away. I can't believe that Kyle Smith found him. I mean, he didn't start in that game against USC. They brought him off the bench for some bizarre reason. I mean, I think he ended up with 26 points. He's a young man that's 6'8", that can score down on the block. He's got great athleticism. But the thing that's most impressive to me about Isaac Jones, he's not out there hunting points. He plays within the team concept. If you're giving him the opportunity to score every time, he will. But if you try to double him, he'll make the right play. Just really, really unselfish and a huge addition for the Washington State Cougars, man. I tell you what, he's been big time.
And then I want to talk a bit about you, Eldridge, because you and I are the same age. I was a basketball manager for George Raveling at USC, so I saw you play quite a bit during your college career. You were I did not know you were a teammate or a high school teammate of one of my favorite Trojans of all time, Robert Pack.
Yeah. Yep, me and Robert grew up together, and just some fond memories. Yeah, I used to give it to y'all at USC back in the day, man. Yes, indeed, back in the sports arena. I remember those days. But me and Robert grew up together, and I remember when he was about to make a college choice, it came down between Washington State and USC. And I told him, I said, man, that's a no-brainer. You're gonna be in LA. All the NBA teams come through LA. All the guys work out there. Because he was asking me where he should go, and I wanted him to come to Washington. I kept telling my coach, Andy Russo, to sign him. He's like, nah, we're bringing in somebody else. I was like, man, we need to sign this guy, Robert Pack. I played in high school with him. He can really play. He decided to pass, and Pack goes to USC, and, the rest is history. I think he played 14 years in the NBA. So some good memories there, some good memories of playing against George Raveling teams. Yes, it's just some fun times back when it was the Pac-10.
Yeah. And just you obviously mentioned it at the top, but just as a former athlete, just with the breakup of this conference, how's that affected you?
It sucks, man. It really does, and you keep thinking it's a bad nightmare and that something's going to change. But the closer we get, football just ended. I see all the football announcers posting their stuff about, it's over. Reality hasn't really sunk in for me yet because I still have some games to go. But as I go to these places and I'm there for the last time, I've got 3 more games at Washington State, so this isn't my last game. I got another game at UW, and I think I got to go down to Oregon and Colorado. But I'm gonna miss it. Like I said earlier, I think this may be the last time that Arizona goes to Pullman. I don't see them scheduling a game in the non-conference. They may, but I doubt it. And it's just unfortunate. It's a conference with so much history, so much pride, and if it was all based on football, nobody had a better league than the Pac-12 did this year. I still don't understand it, and to be quite frank, man, I'm pissed because my history is tied to that, what do you? I mean, Kareem, Walton, talk about all the great football players, just all the great athletes. Period. I played basketball, but just great athletes across the board, and to see the conference gone, as a competitor, man, when I made the NBA. I used to get tired of hearing these guys in the Big Ten talking all the smack that they was talking in the SEC, talking all the smack they were talking in football. So you wanted to beat those leagues, and for our league to fold like it did, it's really, really sad. And whoever dropped the ball, I don't know all the details of what went down, but man, they should never get another good night of sleep for the rest of their damn life. Is all I can say. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but
no,
that's how much it meant to me. I had pride when I played in the NBA, and I was the only guy in the league from Washington. One of the few guys from the Pac-12. I really took pride in that. And to see the conference go under, man, it just absolutely sucks because I used to hear all the time how these guys that played in Indiana and North Carolina were so great. Then I get to the NBA and I'm killing them. I'm like, well, this guy's not that good. It's about exposure. And one of the unfortunate things, we just didn't have the exposure of some of the other leagues that were on ESPN. And Fox, we tried to do our own thing with the Pac-12 network, which I thought was great, but we just couldn't get the partnership to get the viewership. And I think that was the dagger at the end.
And your career is very interesting because you did not go right to the National Basketball Association. What was that road like for you in those early years when you were, kind of in the, I guess it was whatever the former G League, the CBA, you played in the CBA and a number of leagues as well overseas. Yeah. What was it like during that 4 or 5 year period when you were trying to get to the NBA and then finally getting there in '95 with the Nuggets?
Well, it was the road less traveled. You know, that's what it was for me, man. And I had a new coach my senior year. I won't mention his name, but I couldn't stand the goddamn guy. And I think he kind of blackballed me a little bit because, in my opinion, I was the second best player in the league behind Gary Payton. You know, Gary got drafted, Trevor Wilson got drafted, and Judd Bushler got drafted. And I thought in college I was a better player than Judd and Trevor. Gary was the man, obviously. We used to go at it a lot. But I didn't get drafted, and to be honest with you, man, I was shocked. So I knew I could play in the NBA because every summer I would work out with the Seattle Supersonic guys here in Seattle. So I knew I could play. And I just tried to hang in there for as long as I could, man, and finally won a championship with the Yakima Sun Kings in the CBA, which is like the G League is now, and was named MVP of the league. And finally got a shot with the Houston Rockets. But it was a tough way to go because I knew I had the ability to play at the NBA level, but I felt like I lost 5 of my best years, you know, when I was young and really athletic and can run and jump. But, you know, Gaude always has a plan, man. It worked out for me. I ended up playing 8 years in the NBA, but I really wish I could have got drafted out of college and had a much longer NBA career.
And doing some great things, you know, on the commentary side. Where can people find you and hear some of your work?
I'm on the Pac-12 network. I'm calling some games for Fox on FS1. Social media, I'm at Eric Kasner on, I guess it's X now, Twitter and Instagram. But, you know, I really enjoy staying connected to the game. I'm looking forward to the Arizona game. That should be a big-time game over there in Pullman. So I'm looking forward to that and being on the call and just, you know, sharing all the history and tradition, even though I hate Arizona, man. I don't think I was 0-9 in my career against them. And I can still see Sean Elliott in my goddamn sleep sometimes and hear that crowd talking about Steve Kerr. So it's not all fond memories when I think about the Wildcats.
0-9. Wow, that's rough.
0-9. 0-9.
That's rough, Eldridge. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's been a long time, but you can see there's still a little salt in the wounds.
Eldridge, hey, we appreciate you taking some time. Have a great call on the game.
Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
Eldridge Rakasner of the Pac-12 Network, getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
Wildcats fans, that's our keys to the game.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions, Alvernon and Glen, Pantano Parkway and 22nd Street. Palo Verde and Irvington, also Prince Road and Romero. Got some slowdowns westbound I-10 near Irvington, Palo Verde. Also backups Ahaway and Mission, westbound I-9 at Thornydale. Valencia westbound approaching and passing I-19 for more slowing. 35 the low, 62 sunny tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
You know, there are times when you just want a new truck and times when you just need a new truck. So if either of those times are right now, O'Reilly has the time for you.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join the growing team at Progressive Insurance. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Football and Miller Lite, America's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
License to 40693.
Guys, I want to share Alaskan AC's 1-year guarantee.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, a 1-year guarantee.
Doesn't everyone have something like that?
Sure, but they keep your money. We give money back.
Oh. Wow. Can we say that?
Yes, like this. When Alaskan AC installs a new system, it's guaranteed for a whole year or your money back. We'll either fix it to make it work or we'll hand you back all of your money.
This really makes other AC companies seem kinda kinda lame? That's the word.
Another polar bear promise.
A whole year. If your AC system isn't performing like it should on day 363,
we make it right or give you back all of your money right down to the penny.
Call an Alaskan. No, call everyone else first. See if they'll put their money on the line.
They won't, because at Alaskan AC, we believe if we can't satisfy you,
we don't deserve your business. And that's a polar bear promise.
Guaranteed. Every day at AlaskanAC.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is getting cooler here, and so rodents will be seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? Call University Termite and Pest Control, 886-4146. They've been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control. You can too. Call University Termite and Pest Control today at 886-4146 or go to BePestFree.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we mentioned that the NFL playoffs begin this weekend. A number of Tucson, Southern Arizona players appearing on various teams. We mentioned earlier, obviously, Demetrius Flanagan fouls with the 49ers out of Tucson High, Mountain View High School, and also... we mentioned Levi Wallace out of Tucson High School. Matt Bushman also will be playing this weekend, or at least he will be with the Kansas City Chiefs. He spent last year with the Chiefs and was on the roster for the Super Bowl last year. Has only played in one game this year. Played in the season opener for the Chiefs, but has spent the entire season on the practice squad. But get this, Matt Bushman has been, obviously he's a tight end. He plays behind one Travis Kelce. Matt Bushman spent his New Year's Eve partying with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. How about that?
Probably a fun party.
Matty Bushman getting roped into the Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs aura. Apparently his wife is a huge fan and went to the concert. I don't know if Taylor may have performed in Las Vegas on New Year's Eve, but yeah, apparently it was a big party there.
I did read in the last game, Travis was 16 yards short of 1,000.
Yeah, they didn't play him.
And he chose not to play. Yeah. So that broke a streak of, I think, like the record 7 consecutive years or something like that.
Yeah, Matt Bushman. How
But
about that?
Matt got a few opportunities in that game.
Nothing wrong with it. It was fun. I got a chance to interview him last year at the Super Bowl up in Phoenix and talked to him about his career and the opportunity to play behind a guy like Travis Kelce and to be able to catch balls in practice from Patrick Mahomes, and just a great opportunity for that young man from Sabino High School to be with the Super Bowl champions for the past 2 seasons. All right, we were talking earlier in the show about the Phoenix Suns and their big win last night over the Los Angeles Lakers, 127-109. And one of the things that came out of this, the post-game press conference, there were some interesting questions asked by, I don't know if it was a reporter or, well, obviously it had to have been a reporter if he was in the press conference, but it sounded like somebody also who might be a coach, a youth coach or something of that nature. And he asked both Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal about, things that they would tell young basketball players. And I thought this was some really good stuff. And I want you to hear what they had to say. First, here was the question that was posed to Kevin Durant.
I got to give you a lot of credit. Every time I see you, it's high efficiency every single time. Every year it's high efficiency. But I've been talking to a lot of high school players, and they bring your name up in terms of someone that they look up to. What can you tell them in terms of, playing in small space, being able to get separation, and then also not being able to need a screen every time, being able to score and not bring the double team to you? Yeah, it's all about fundamentals. Learning how to get to your spots is always about fundamentals, especially when the clock is going down, when you got tight paint. It's about getting to your spots and knocking down those shots and getting to your favorite shots. And so I'll tell young guys just to work on the fundamentals, shooting, ball handling, passing, just that simple. And the game will start to open up and become easier, when you feel like you can attack from every angle of the floor. You don't feel limited out there. So, and the fundamentals help you get to that point.
And that was Kevin Durant and what he had to say. And then this same reporter asked a similar question to Bradley Beal.
A lot of kids out there who want to be the guy. You've been in that situation. You are in that situation. What can you tell them in terms of not needing a screen to score? Because what if you guys use a screen, a double team or a blitz is going to come, right? How could you tell them in terms of the importance of being able to score the basketball without, needing the screen and playing in small spaces and being able to get your shot off in small spaces?
The biggest thing is obviously as you get older, something I tell my AAU kids is, you got to be able to score in 2 dribbles in the league. You're not getting more than that. You got big elite defenders, you got help side, you got AD waiting to block your shot. Like, you got to be able to get a shot off, within, like you said, in a small space, small time frame, and with some quickness. And it takes time, man. It wasn't something I had right when I got in the league. It wasn't something I had the second year, third. Like, it took time to develop and reps at it too, and also opportunity. It's also a matter of, the opportunities coaches give you and the positions they put you in to succeed too. But 100%, man, it's you got to be able to find a knack in the game, and 1 dribble, 2 dribble pull-ups, they may seem boring, but that's the NBA. Like, those are going to be good shots for you. Those are going to be able to get your rhythm going. That keeps you in the wheelhouse. That keeps you with a job. So just continue to, as a young kid out there, keep finding ways to be able to score and max 3 dribbles. I'll give you 3. I'll give you an extra one.
3 dribbles, J-Dub, to get your shot. That's it.
Yeah, well, think about it like this. Not only are these the best offensive players in the world, but the schemes defensively that coaches are bringing at them are the best minds in basketball. So what this really is the evolution of basketball, and the positionless nature that the NBA is today is really just means high skill level regardless of size, weight, position. So it used to be little guys stay out on the perimeter, big guys stand under the basket. Nowadays, you've got guys who are every single which way and taller. The size of the NBA at certain positions have increased. And if you can't get that shot off, DK, in traffic on multitude, you have to have a counter, more or less, for everything the defense is going to throw at you. Then you can't be – you're talking about 3 superstar scorers on the Suns in those 3 guys. So if you're not capable of getting 2-3 dribbles score. And that's how you do it. That's how they do it at that level. If you play one-on-one, it's not infinite dribbles, it's 2 dribbles. And that's the way that it's done. So it's really, and I love the part he's talking about fundamentals, because I think a lot of young players lose perspective that you watch Kobe, you watch Michael Jordan, these kind of players, and you marvel at their ability above the rim, dunking on people and such. But those are 2 of the more fundamental players in the history of the NBA. And that's what made them so special, was because they understood all those little things. And KD, right up there amongst most fundamental players around. LeBron, same thing. Super, super tight with all their fundamentals. Because there's no time to think. There is no time to think out there. You just have to have a react that's already in your bag. You have to know what you're going to do whenever something's coming at you and react instantly. So, yeah, super important. At that level, with the defense have gotten so sophisticated over the years, you have to be able to score in short space and tight dribbles.
All right, I want you to hear a little bit of, I've got some Devin Booker over here. I want you to hear some Devin Booker last night, who had 31 points in the ball game and the Suns win. Technology again. Come on.
KD came to me before the game and said, I want you aggressive. Don't worry about getting me involved. I'll get myself involved. So, having a mate like that out there with you to give you that much confidence and, let you rock out is important.
And then obviously you carried the offense in the first half, and then Bradley carried it in the second. How pleased were you to see him be him in that second half?
Yeah. I've seen it plenty of times before, so none of it surprises me. But, finding the spacing around it, letting them get easier looks and letting them get in his bag without, people in help defense. So, we figured some things out spacing tonight that we've been working on the past couple of days that, we can carry forward with now.
And I thought that was interesting what Book said there about how KD came to him and said, look, don't worry about me. You get into the game. And I want you to hear what Durant had to say about that conversation.
That's been my approach since I've been in the league. Like, I'll figure it out. I can fend for myself. You don't got to force feed me the ball or put me in my spots. I don't need a point guard to set me up. Like, I can go get it. I can find out how to be aggressive and make an impact on the offensive side. So as much as everybody can be aggressive without having to focus on trying to get me the ball or our best scorers the ball, if we aggressive and just make the right play, the ball is going to find us. So that's usually the approach we all have. But sometimes it's good to reiterate that to your teammates so they can go out there and have a free mind. So as much as I can, I try to put that in the ear of my guys.
Very unselfish there. Very unselfish from Kevin Durant to go to his star teammate to say, hey, don't worry about me. You get yourself involved. You be aggressive. I'll figure out a way to make myself a part of this offense. All right, before we get out of here, let's tell you something that we heard from Derek Palmer as we get you set for Arizona women's basketball tonight.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
What are we expecting from the Beavers tonight?
They are huge. And this is something that historically the Cats have struggled with, but they're not quite as gigantic as they had been in years past, but they're still huge. And I'm expecting an awful lot of zone that's going to have a 6'5" or a 6'7" player anchoring it with somebody who's 6'3" and 6'4" flanking her. And they're going to probably dare the Cats to beat them from the outside. But this is a little bit of a different look because historically Arizona's been able to get the ball inside of Oregon State's defense. They've just kind of shied away from all of the length once they get in there. But that's not necessarily something that this team's been doing. They're doing a much better job this year going right after that size. And think of one play from Kaylin Gilbert particularly where she got switched up by a center against Colorado. And ordinarily when you see a guard do that, they just try to get that quick first step and find a pull-up jumper. But she just kept on going to the rim and wound up getting a three-point play. If they're able to do stuff like that or able to get to the free throw line with again, talking like Jada Williams getting all those fouls drawn on her, I think that this could probably be a pretty good road trip, but if they allow for Oregon State's size to dictate terms, it could be a pretty frustrating evening.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Well, the good news is Isis Bay expected to be back in the lineup tonight for the Arizona Wildcats, so that'll give them another big on the front line to go along with Brea Cunningham. Our coverage begins at 7:45. Tip-off after 8. Arizona women's basketball on the road at Oregon State with Derek Palmer right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to all the people that joined us. Derek Palmer, Steve Botkin, Eldridge Rakasner. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. We're back with you tomorrow afternoon at noon. It's the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show, Arizona men's basketball at Washington State. For J.W. Madden and Cricket, I'm David Kelly. Have a great rest of your evening, weekend, and celebrate my frat brother, Martin Luther King Jr.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. So expect a lot of traffic in the area of Keno Parkway near Ahaway due to the Fort Lowell soccer shootout all through the weekend. Crashes that are clearing at Alvernon and Glen, also Pantano Parkway and 22nd Street. And weather-wise, 35 the overnight low, 62 sunny tomorrow, 68 on Sunday, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and